Hi, it's Taylor Pangman and welcome to the Tribe Life. For this week's class, we're going to be doing a nice flow that really kind of incorporates everything. Some forward folds, some warrior ones and warrior twos, but we're going to take our time warming up today. So I'll show you a few tricks that you can use to help get your body, your muscles, and your joints warmed up before we dive into a flow. It's nice to do that in general, and so I'll give you some poses and some tips that you can use in your own practice. So when you're ready, roll out your mat and we'll begin. We'll start our practice today in child's pose. So at the back of our mats, releasing down into child's pose. Breathing here and focus on your intention for your class today. And taking a few deep breaths, taking an inhale through our nose. Exhale out your mouth. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. One more time. Inhaling through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Then looking up and shifting our hands over to the left side. Releasing back down into child's pose, feeling the stretch on that right side body. Taking a deep breath here. And lifting our heads and shifting our hands over to the right side. Relaxing down into this pose, feeling the stretch on our left side body here. Taking a deep breath. And lifting our head, bringing our hands back in the center, coming up onto all four. And we'll do a few exercises here to waken up our wrists. So starting with that left hand. So we're going to rotate that wrist out towards the left and all the way back so your fingers are pointing towards your body, so 180 degrees. And if you can only stop halfway, that's totally fine. Or if you come back all the way and your wrist is like this, it's pretty stiff, that's fine. Just do what feels good for you. And if you are able to get all of your palm and your fingers down on the ground, you can rock front and back a little bit. Gives it a nice massage. And remembering to breathe in this pose. It's not exactly the most comfortable. And releasing that wrist, doing the same thing on the right side, rotating that wrist out and back. If you can, rocking side to side. Again, focusing on that breath. And releasing that wrist. We'll flip our wrist over this time, so flipping the left wrist over and making sure you have pressure on all 5 fingers and the top of your hand. Instead of just in your wrist, you want to evenly distribute the weight. Keeping all fingers engaged. Again, you can rotate front and back a little bit. And you'll flip that back over, do the same thing on the right side. And releasing that hand. We'll do a little cat-cow to warm up the spine. So flip your toes under. We'll shift the gaze, looking up. Inhale into cow. You'll drop your belly to the ground. And exhale, dropping the head and the hips, shifting them forward. You can release your feet to the ground, pressing off the top of your feet. You press your belly button back into your back, and you press up as if you're trying to separate and rip your shoulder blades apart. And that's cat. So you inhale. We'll do 2 more breaths on our own. Inhale into cow. And exhale into cat. 1 more breath. Inhale. And exhale into cow, or into cat. Coming back to a neutral spine, we'll start to rotate our hips. So start moving them in the small circles clockwise. And then maybe bigger circles. Just helps warming up all your joints. You can release your neck and your shoulders. It's a very fluid motion. And then we'll reverse it, going counterclockwise. Again, starting in the little small circles. And then bigger circles. And when you're ready, coming back onto all fours, flip our feet and we'll push back into our first downward facing dog. Taking a few breaths here to walk out our dog. And when you're ready, inhaling that right leg up and back. Exhale, bring it forward. You'll drop that back knee down. Inhale, reaching all the way up into a low lunge. Feeling that stretch in our left hip. Inhale, reaching our arms up. Exhale, planting your hands, straighten your legs. We'll come into pyramid pose. So inhale, lifting halfway up. And exhale, forward fold over that front leg. And if you want to, make sure your hips are square here, so you can actually take your right thumb and you'll hook it into your right hip. And you'll press it back, pulling your right hip back and your left hip forward, making sure that your hips are squared to the front. And on your next inhale, bringing your left foot to match the right. Inhale, lifting halfway up. Exhale, forward fold over those legs. Taking a breath here, feeling the stretch. And slowly bending your knees, slightly bending your knees, rolling all the way up. Inhale, reaching our arms up. Exhale, your hands in the heart center. Inhale, reaching your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Planting your hands. You can jump or step back into plank and pushing back into downward facing dog. Staying here for a breath. Inhale, lifting the left foot up and back. Exhale, bringing it forward in between your hands. Dropping that back knee down. Inhale, reaching all the way up. Coming into low lunge. Inhale, reaching your arms up. Exhale, planting your hands down, straightening your legs, coming into pyramid pose on this side. You can inhale, lift halfway up, straighten that spine, and exhale, fold over that front leg. So again, you can take that left thumb and hook that left hip so that your hips are more square. Your left hip is back, your right hip is forward. You'll feel a deeper stretch along your leg when you do so. And on your next inhale, bring your right foot to match the left, lifting halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Taking a deep breath here. Slightly bend your knees, rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Inhale, reaching your arms all the way up. Exhale, your hands in the heart center. Inhale, reaching your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Planting your hands. You can jump or step back into plank and push back into downward facing dog. Taking a deep breath here. Inhale, lifting that right leg up and back. Exhale, bring it forward in between your hands. Planting that back foot down this time. You'll inhale, coming up into warrior one. Taking a deep inhale. Exhale, opening up into warrior two. Inhale, releasing your hands back down to the ground, pushing back into plank and back into downward facing dog. Taking a breath here. Inhale, lifting that left foot up and back. Exhale, bringing it forward in between your hands. Dropping that back foot down. Inhale, rising all the way up into warrior one. Inhale, reaching your arms up. Exhale, opening up into warrior two. Inhale. Exhale, releasing your hands back down to the ground, pushing back into plank, pushing back into downward facing dog. Taking 3 deep breaths here. And releasing your knees, we'll push back into child's pose for a few breaths here. Taking a moment to catch your breath. And rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Slide to the side, we'll bring our feet out in front of us. Keeping that right leg straight. Bending in that left knee, flexing that front right foot. You can pull the flesh away from your sits bones, sitting nice and tall. Inhale, reaching your arms up. Exhale, forward fold over that front leg. And if you can't reach your feet, that's totally fine. You can keep your hands on your shin or your knees or on the ground. You can even bend that knee slightly if that feels good. It's a good lower back release as well. And just taking a few breaths here wherever you are and knowing that that's enough. Taking one more breath. And releasing that foot, switching legs. Again, flexing that front foot, sitting nice and tall. Inhale, reaching our arms up. Exhale, forward fold over that front leg. Taking a few deep breaths here. And releasing that foot. Bringing both legs out in front of us. Again, pulling the flesh away from our sits bones. Sitting nice and tall. Inhale. Exhale, reaching forward and folding over those front legs. Again, bending your knees here if you can't reach your toes or if that's too strenuous to try to reach your feet and hold them straight. Release your legs, your knees, whatever feels comfortable. And releasing those feet. And we'll roll back on our backs, one vertebrae at a time. Giving our knees a hug into our chest. You can roll them around for a lower back massage there. And we'll bring our arms out to a T. Rolling our hips, our knees over to the left side. And shifting our gaze over that right shoulder. Taking one more deep breath. Bringing our knees back in the center and rolling them over to the right side. Shifting our gaze over to the left. I'm taking a few deep breaths here. Bring your knees back in the center. Again, you can give them another hug here. Roll them around clockwise and counterclockwise. And when you're ready, we'll stretch our legs out, laying down, coming into final Shavasana. You can pause the video here if you'd like and take as long as you would like, or you can stay with me, and after about a minute or two, I'll wake us up and close our practice. Slowly start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Reaching our hands up over our head, stretching from fingertip to the tips of our toes. Keeping your eyes closed, you'll roll over onto your right side and staying there for a breath or two. And when you're ready, pushing up, coming into a seated position. Taking a deep inhale and exhale out your mouth. Taking a moment to think about something that you're grateful for and holding that in your heart. Inhale, reaching our arms up. Exhale, bringing them into heart center. Thank you for practicing with me today. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.